Well, pardon me. So, I'm calming the fuck down. I'm really calming down. Cause the end of my day, it was wild, and I'll put up the pictures here in a minute. Jesus Christ on a crutch. Oh, I am surprised. So let me give you the rundown on what happened towards the end of my day. Now, as most of you know, anyone that's following me and keeping up with this chaos knows that I drive a 26,000 pound truck. Because I pick up and deliver toilets. It's a flatbed truck. It's got rails on the side and stuff like that. But that's what I do for a living. So I'd gotten my last toilet for the day. I was cruising back to the shop. I was going to unload, park my truck, and call it good for the night, and you know, go home with the 101 days of being sober and everything else like that. And I hate to say it, but I didn't chuck that pack of cigarettes, and I know there's going to be people that are pissed that I say this, but I'm glad I didn't, because, and I'll tell you why. So I'm on my way back, and I'm driving on the freeway. Now I'm in the far right lane, and I'm cruising at about 60 miles an hour, right? Keeping up with traffic, although there's traffic that's going around me, so on and so forth. I'm a big truck, I'm kind of slow. All of a sudden I hear boom, and I just hear shit start fucking on, just right. I blew my front driver's side tire. Now, when that happens, that becomes a major problem. You become a missile at that point. And so what you're taught to do is to take your foot off of the accelerator and, you know, just kind of let it coast. Well, the problem was I got drug across 4 lanes of traffic, and I am surprised that I did not come remotely close to hitting anyone. The only thing I came close to colliding with was a K-rail, Jersey barrier, whatever you want to call it. It's that concrete median or center strip that goes down the freeway to separate north and south. So that's my front driver's side tire. Clearly, you can see what I'm talking about. That fucker blew. Did that to the bottom step next to my diesel tank. And the part that you see right there is supposed to be hooked to something. The problem is all that shredded right there when the tire decided to start just winging it. I'm surprised the hood didn't go. I'm very, very lucky that nothing happened to anyone. And this is something that is, you know, completely out of anyone's control. I did my pre-inspection in the morning, checked all my tires. My tires were good. You know, you get driving along the course of your day and anything can happen. So when I was going down the freeway, I heard the loud pop, and then I just heard everything slapping. Like, I have a blindside mirror on the driver's side as well as the passenger side of my truck, and I could see the rubber from the tread of the tire on the metal arm of my blindside mirror. When I tell you I almost had a heart attack and shit myself at the same time, boy. And so I called my boss, and he was like, hey, what's going on? I said, well, I about shit myself and had a heart attack all at the same time. So he kind of chuckled. He's like, what's going on? So I told him, and he's like, have you gotten out to look at it yet? And I said, no, I just got off, and I was next to the fast lane of traffic. So, like, luckily the driver's side was next to the barrier, so I wasn't in any danger. So I get out, you know, I hang up with him or whatever. I get out and I snap pictures of it, and I send them to him, and he goes, Jesus, when you do something, you don't do anything half-assed, do you? Trying to be funny, make light of the situation. So I sent him a text back saying, all I heard out of that was I get the rest of the week off, you know? And he says, well, I'm glad you're okay. That's impressive. Great control. And so then he asked me the unit number for my truck and everything else like that. And then I hung up with him, dropped him a coordinate for where it is, because he was like, all I need to know is, when I talked to him before he hung up, he says, All I'm asking at this point, is it a fix or do we need to have it towed? And I'm like, we need to have that damn thing. This truck needs to be towed to the shop. Okay, send me the coordinates. Ask me the unit number. I sent him the coordinates, and then I asked him who was picking me up. He's like, well, your supervisor's going to be picking you up, because the guy that I talked to is the area manager. So my supervisor sends me, or he calls me, and he's like, hey, drop me a pin on where you are. So I dropped him a pin, sat there and waited, and I'm not gonna lie, I pulled a cigarette out of the pack and fucking lit up, because I was just doing this, and I'm still rattled from it. This is why critical thinking always comes in handy when you're driving trucks this size, because anything can happen at any time, and that proves it. I could have done a lot more damage, and thankfully I did not. I was close to going head on with the K-rail, and I didn't. I hit the brakes just enough to where I was able to straighten the truck out so it wasn't sticking into traffic, parked it, threw on my hazards, and just prayed to every fucking being there was that I was all right. Then I go through calling trying to call my wife, and then I ended up calling my daughter because my wife was in the shower. Told her, say, hey, just let your mom know I'm going to be home late. This happened, and my daughter's like, are you okay? And I said, yes, I'm fine. I'm shaking, but just, let your mom know. And so she went in. I said, just go poke your head in and tell your mom that I called, and to call me back when she can. So then my wife called me, and she's like, are you okay? I said, yes, I'm fine. Went through the whole thing. Said, I'm waiting on someone to come and get me. She says, okay. I've been driving trucks that big now for going on 8 years, and that is the first time I have ever had anything like that happen. Now, I've gotten flats before. There was one time I was driving a smaller pickup truck that we have set up that we can haul about 6 toilets on, and about most of the lug nuts were gone, so the tire was wobbling. I was able to pull over safely because I was on a back road. Somebody brought it to my attention, and this was like a year or so ago. But that right there, I am fucking lucky that no one got hurt, that I didn't get hurt, and the only damage that was done was to the front end of the truck as far as the wheel well and everything else. Like I said, that's where critical thinking comes in, because most people in that situation, and it's happened, I'm not saying that I'm above anyone, but it has happened where people will panic, mash on the brakes, and all that does is just, it pulls your front end down and just makes you a missile. And that can end up fatal. So for anyone that drives trucks that big, pre-trips are important, obviously, and critical thinking along with it, because things can happen within the blink of an eye, and they could end up fucking fatal. I'm gonna go home now and change my fucking underwear and settle down for the rest of the night. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you for listening.